The first teamless Tuesday of the year, it has brought some massive curveballs. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I mean, there's a few good things in here, but some of the guys I was hoping would get a start haven't gotten a start. There are some guys in that have gotten a start that we were hoping for, and the first one of those is Zach Hosking. So you throw Zach Hosking into that starting role. Look, he's an absolute monster. Will he keep that spot? I mean, let's have a look at the extended bench. Yeah, I don't know if he'll keep that spot. I mean, Ethan Strange just won the spot, but where is Whitehead? It's Cosbro, new recruit. I don't know where Elliot Whitehead is. We're gonna have to look at this. But if Elliot Whitehead's out for a decent amount of time, just been dropped, Zach Fosking might be the guy because he's serious value at that point. Ethan Strange, you got him at number 6. That's a no-brainer. He was sitting in my halves, or my centers already for fantasy. If he starts at 6, which he's going to, then there's not a lot of risk to his spot. We have Seb Chris coming back soon, but a guy like KO Weeks, he's not the same sort of caliber of potential as an Ethan Strange, in my view. But at the same time, who knows? The base price, chuck him in at center, that's gold. Jordan Rapana averages 49 when he plays fullback. He is playing fullback. He's priced at 495k in my team right now. Bit risky though. Seb Chris comes back round 2, so keep an eye on that. Nick Kotrick gets a start. That's great news. He's basically base price, so he's a bit of depth for you there. Savage on the wing, don't fall for that. That is a trap, a big trap. Danny Levi is a trap as well. Tom Starling will play bigger minutes than Levi off the bench. In terms of Smithies, could be interesting. He's about 520k from memory. I'm going to do a deep dive on that, but that's interesting to see him start lock. Horsburgh does come back in about 3 weeks, so maybe Horsburgh comes into the front row rotation. On the night side, nothing too crazy. Tuala gets that spot. There's a bit of talk that a few other guys were training in that spot. Forward pack is straightforward. Dylan Lucas gets a starting role. Kai Pierce-Paul is on that bench. Cogger on the bench just means he'll probably play a bit of hooker. I'm not too interested in the Knights. Going through the next team here, we got the Warriors and the Sharks. And for the Warriors and the Sharks, RTS, he stays at center and Tuapiki goes to fullback. That's pretty clear intent for them. They're only going to play RTS at center this year unless there's a big disaster. So if you're getting him, he's only a center. He's not a potential fullback. Keep that in mind. For me, he's not worth it, but at the same time, I can see the upside. Mitch Barnett is floating around. He's had some fantasy pedigree for small amounts of time. Not in my team, but kind of interesting. I'd steer clear of Tohu. He just sort of showed a bit of signs of aging. Still a fantastic player, but durability might be a challenge. I would also steer clear of Fanil Blake myself. On the Sharks side of things, yeah, I mean, no KLRO. That's something that a few people were hoping for. Backline's pretty straightforward. Halves pairing is forward. Hines is going to play, obviously. Kafusi, Hunt, that spot is a bit tough to trust because you've got Toby Rudolph and Dale Finucane, who are both big minute guys on the bench. You also have Tom Hazleton floating around as well. So I wouldn't trust Royce Hunt. Don't do that to yourself. Cam McInnes is a guy who scores 57 points when he gets the big minutes. So I think it's 57 points in 57 minutes is his average when he plays over 50 minutes. That could be an option, but the value is a bit marginal there. Then Storm and Panthers. This is where one of my favorites got struck down by some bullshit. So Storm side, I'm going to go to Joe Chan first in the 11 jersey, man. Oh, Joe Chan. Who the hell is Joe Chan? What's he doing in this spot? We had a few other guys lined up. So we had Kane Bradley. We had Sean Bloor. They're in the 18 and 19 jersey. Suafai Longo as well is another guy people were thinking about. Like, I thought Sean Bloor would win that spot. I thought he'd be good enough in the preseason to win it, and Joe Chan's there. So, yeah, anyway, look, Sean Bloor out of your team, obviously. Eli Katoa, I really like. He's in my team right now. He was always going to start. Nothing too crazy. Loyero's in at lock, as we expected. Backline is pretty straightforward too. Nick Meaney is now a center. Cam Munster named, even though with the injury cloud. The Penrith backline, Taruba is back, so that means Taylor May stays at center. Jerome Luai's back, no big deal there. Obviously, don't worry about this too much. Mitch Kenny will be back next week, so you don't have to worry there. Somerton's only a 1 week fill-in. Fisher Harris. Luke Garner is here. I know Sorensen has a little niggle right now. let's just see here. Tell me its first crack. Stephen Crichton, Mitch Kenny. I need to find out the exact details there, but I wouldn't be picking Luke Garner up personally. They don't really rate him very highly. The bench is fine. Liam Henry gets a spot. That's kind of cool. I think he's a little above that sort of base price, but he's still kind of interesting. Then Eels and Bulldogs. This is Eels and Bulldogs. Team list is not here. How weird. I know the team list for the Eels and Bulldogs. So Salmon got a start at lock. In fact, I'm going to get you the Eels and Bulldogs just over here because I've got a backup page because that's how diehard we are. So Eels and Bulldogs. Bailey Simonson is to the wing. That means he's no buy. Morgan Harper, the center, is dicey as I would avoid both of them because Mike Acevo comes back soon, and Harper or Pennant Simonson could get dropped. Sean Russell, he's a decent price, but meh. Joey Lussick and Brandon Hands, both named. Brad Arthur was just messing with us, man. He's a troll. Yeah, look, I wouldn't touch either of the Eels hookers if that's the configuration. Skip and skip. Bulldogs, Blake Taff, Drew Hutchison, Jamin Salmon. There was a lot of talk about all those guys. They all get the naming spot. Salmon becomes a bit of a must-have at 289K. Hutchison at 400K is interesting. Maybe he doesn't have big upside, but he should make a bit of money. Blake Taff, I would steer clear of him. Kraz at center, if he's fit for round one, which puts a bit of doubt in my mind, he's a gun for fantasy playing center, but he does have an injury cloud coming into round one. I wouldn't worry about Farmasili. Just trying to pronounce that one. I think there's going to be other guys off the bench like Sam Hughes, Josh Curran, that play bigger minutes than him. But at the same time, maybe he does get bigger minutes. Max King could be a big beneficiary of this bench actually because there's not huge prop minutes, although it does fill me with a bit of confidence that Sam Hughes will get some good running. So that's pretty sweet. Then we'll go to the next game, Titans and the Dragons. And I reckon the Dragons could be on for a cheeky upset here. I really like the Titans this year, but I just think the injuries for round one are kind of tough to deal with. You get Cleese Haas instead of David Fafita, kind of Keeney instead of Jaden Campbell. Fafita and Campbell are both so explosive. It's just hard to replace those guys. Keeney has a bye in round 2. Campbell's probably back about round 4. So maybe only gets 2 games, maybe 3 games, but he is a 55 average in reserve grade. So the upside is there. It could blow up in your face. It's a risky one, but it has big potential. For the rest of the team, look, backline's pretty straightforward. Forward pack, I'm not too thrown out by this. Keenan Palacia is at a good price. He's starting lock. I could be tempted. I could definitely be tempted. Isaac Liu didn't ever have a stranglehold in that role. Jolik's going to play prop. Aaron Clark is a bit of a risk there because they've already got Verrills on the bench for Chris Randall, so Clark's not playing hooker. Look, Palacia is probably a guy I'm going to skip, but we can have a closer look at this now that we know he's a starting lock. Dragons side, Lomax is on the wing. That's garbage for fantasy. Do not touch him. Sully had preseason form, but I'm just a bit unexcited about that. I just don't think there's a lot of gravy in that buy. Flano's there, but he's probably not goal kicking, which is tough. Forward pack, Jacob Little is in here. He's interesting this year, but probably not interesting enough. I wouldn't worry about Eisenhuth because Luciano will come in and take that spot eventually. Molo, Laurie, Jack DeBellin is all pretty straightforward. The bench is kind of what we expected. Not a lot of minutes being eaten from that bench. So if you are a Jack DeBellin fan, I'm not that keen on him for fantasy this year. But if you're a JDB fan, then that bench is working in your favor. And then we got the Sunday game, 4 o'clock. I think it's our last game of the weekend. Dolphins and the Cowboys. So, yeah, Hammer, Asako. Tessie New in at center is kind of interesting. Jack Bostock, I think he's a bit of a trap. I just don't see him scoring well enough unless he flukes a bunch of tries. Very risky option. Cody Nikarima gets a spot. He's priced up. It doesn't matter to you right now. Jerry Marshall King, Flegler starting here. Ray Stone at lock. There's a lot of talk that Max Plath will play a lot of locks minutes too. So I think Stone's a bit of a trap. Felice Kafusi, Lemuelu. So our boy Ewan Aitken down in Jersey 21. We were all hoping. Every fantasy coach was hoping, but deep down, I think we all knew that one was going to go the wrong way. He wasn't in my team because of that, and there we go. Hearts are broken across the world. Lemuelu is also not center eligible anymore, so it's tough. On the Cowboys side, I think Val Holmes, he has nice fixtures to start the year. That would be an interesting pod. Not saying do it, but I think he could tear up to start the season and be a really good pod for you. I wouldn't use trades to buy him, though, if he started well, because then you're going to have to buy him. You have to sell him for Origin, right? So it's a 2-trade sort of move. Forward pack, Tamalolo starting prop. He's pretty cheap. He's like, what is he, like 500K, something like that? 450, 550. He's kind of interesting. Lukey gets a start here. Now is an 80-minute back row. So Lukey gets a start. We have Finafuyaki on the bench. But McLean, Cotter, Griffin Neem, Sam McIntyre. Not a lot of... No, they play Granville in the middle, though. If Granville's a 40-minute middle in Peyton's mind, again this year, then this bench isn't great for the middle rotations. But if he's just a backup hooker, then maybe it is. I'm a bit dicey on all of this, actually. It's pretty dodge. I'm still probably going to start with Lukey just because I think the fixtures are really good. I think Lukey will score some tries early in the year. But Finafuyaki being there is tempering my expectations on that. Anyway, that's Teamless Review. We're going to do heaps of deeper reviews of these players. There's a few guys highlighted, probably about 10 guys highlighted in that we're going to do deep dives of. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with all that. We make tons of content. That Mitso's not happy with how much I talk about fantasy. But yeah, that's my Teamless Review. It's not great. There are some opportunities in that. We'll talk about the biggest downsides, biggest upsides for the week, and look, best of luck with your season. Peace out.